me safe and sound, and another group of mercenaries in disguise was watching the whole spectacle from afar, ready to interfere in case anything went wrong. It turned out to be a terrible idea nonetheless. It wasn't the least bit of fun or exciting. Sure, those bandits had been unable to torture or hurt me physically in any way, but they had plenty of other non-invasive methods of humiliation in their arsenal. Taking almost all of your clothes off and splashing ice-cold water over you, for example. Ugh, I can't even remember if I said anything truly offensive to provoke them. Even though I initially planned to let them go after the ransom, their overly emotional reactions made me change my mind. I told my mercenaries to hang them all on the spot. I suppose the whole ordeal taught me a valuable lesson, which is that I am not built for such hardship and trials. I feel like chaotic evil. If this guy's evil, then chaotic evil makes way more sense. Wait, you just told me that a couple of your bodyguards died during the stage kidnapping. Does that mean two innocent people lost their lives so you could have a bit of fun? Darren pales a little, but not out of shame. Oh, spare me. It irks me beyond all measure when I hear about the suffering of innocents. He sighs, looks away, and continues in a flat, polite tone. Yes, the bodyguards died. Guarding nobles is a dangerous job. They were well aware of the risk. I don't really see a problem with that. Besides, they proved their incompetence. They would have stood no chance against real kidnappers. I mean, your cruel jokes bring people nothing but misery. And? So that was a stupid story, and now I'll tell you a truly brilliant one. Prelate Holren had always strictly prohibited any public celebrations in Canabris, and he always picked on me for my lack of respect for the fallen and whatnot. His grumblings annoyed me so much that one day I drove 4 barges into the city harbor and set up a celebration on their decks. The ships in the river didn't fall under prelate jurisdiction, you see, so all he could do was snarl at me from the embankment. I, for one, did not forget the old boy. The main attraction of the festivities involved the Inquisitor of Iomade dancing and roasting beautiful witches on illusory bonfires, taking off his clothes with every new victim. The spectacle was so heated, in every sense of the word, that the prelate almost had a stroke. I still consider that one of my finest ideas of all time. Should the Crusaders ever succeed in their efforts against the Whirlwind, I will do my uttermost to get permission to hold a grand public celebration, rivers of wine free of charge, an obligatory parade and carnival in the evening, and contestants from the most provocative succubus costumes with a hefty prize in gold. Another contest where the participants have to fish a sausage out of a wine jar blindfolded with their hands tied behind their backs. The wine will symbolize the blood of all the dead heroes of the war, and the sausage, well, they'll find it heroic meaning for that as well. Over the years, commemorandum of the greatest victories of the light over the darkness will turn into an ordinary holiday, a fine excuse to get sloshed and rot like animals in the street. You enjoyed being mean to everyone? Yes. I thought you were hurling insults at people purely by accident. Darren laughs, and Simon's smile is surprisingly soft. I like your way with words. What did you expect me to say if I wanted to make a good impression? Something along the lines of, I'm not mean, I'm just being honest with myself and everyone else? That's what people use as an excuse when they want to keep up their saccharine facade while still saying whatever nasty little thoughts spring into mind. That's not what I do. I have no hidden agenda. I'm just as much of an insufferable prick as I seem to be. Some people are simply begging for a good dose of mockery, so who am I to deny them? I don't give a damn if anyone holds a grudge against me, which is why I don't even try to avoid it. I'd like to talk about life in Mendev and the Crusade. Ask him, I'm all ears. What's your opinion on Mendev today in general? It doesn't exist. It's a frontier country that has attracted every utopian adventurer and fanatic from all over the world, and for more than a century. It's a place where strangers outnumber the locals, especially in cemeteries. The population of Mendev, for the most part, consists of humans and other races not exactly known for their longevity, so the current generation of Mendevians were born in the shadows of the Whirlwind and raised by the Crusaders. I might be the last person to complain about the decline of tradition and lack of character in our country, but I also happen to come from one of Mendev's most ancient lineages. Its history is bred deep in my bones. My tutors told me stories about my heritage. The galleries, libraries, and even the interiors of the manors I grew up in were filled to the brim with memories of events long past. There are many heroes of old Mendev among my glorious ancestors, or at very least patrons and contemporaries of such heroes. Does anyone actually remember them now? I don't think so. These days, Mendev has its own heroes, in shining armor and with holy fire in their eyes. I myself remember how several streets that once celebrated my ancestors were renamed in honor of some crusader who had died in a heroic fashion. None of the citizens remembered the old crossing festival that was eventually replaced by Armas. These holidays even share the same date. Pretty much the only authentic thing about Mendham now is this endless war with the demons. And is there a point in bemoaning this state of affairs? What's gone is gone, but at least we are no longer some tiny, god-forsaken northern kingdom. That's something, isn't it? You don't really like Crusaders, do you? Quite the opposite. When I think about how many devoted heroes are willing to protect this world against the demonic threat, I feel so inspired. Inspired to continue indulging my vices while they keep fighting to keep me safe. Imagine being someone like me, someone who has everything they can possibly desire: youth, beauty, wealth, and honest wish to live and enjoy, but vanishingly few ways to put it all to any use. The fact that the word fun itself is not yet outlawed in Mendev must be due to some bureaucratic oversight. You can celebrate, your victory solemnly, you can wet your whistle after a challenging battle, but what about real fun, joys, pleasures? I can't remember a single evening at court without someone chastening me for my banquets, my lovers and mistresses, my luxuriant clothes, my everything. It would have been a lot easier to tolerate all those hypocrites if they took a break once in a while. Instead, there was a constant fuss about how I wasn't doing anything for the greater good and how I only brought shame to my royal cousin. Darren is delightful. This is literally just Lanrath. This could be like Lanrath's kid or something. What do you think of our enemies? Do you mean the demons themselves or the followers? The former deserve to be cleansed with heavenly fire for their unholy origin alone, and the latter for their idiocy. I don't understand why a sane person would submit themselves to Descari or Cabriri. Alright, Lady Nocticula almost seems like a bearable enough mistress, yet there's so many other cultists. They've tried to recruit me twice already, and I'm not even that old. First, a very pretty tiefling girl tried to seduce me. Then came the promise of Lord Baphomet's endless boons. I still wonder what exactly the old hornhead could offer me that I don't already have. Do you know what I've been thinking? Every shopkeeper knows this trick. An enticing offer along the lines of 1 in 100 funds from my bakery contain a silver coin. And of course, a hired actress to make a memorable show of finding said coin in her sweet roll. And there you have it. Hundreds of gullible fools stormed the shops to hoping win a prize for themselves. I think the infamous Arelu Warlesh was such an actress for the Lord of the Abyss, a petty Sarkorian witch who became an uncrowned queen of the world world, waited upon hand and foot by demon lords. Only instead of visiting a bakery, the gullible fools rushed to join the cults. We have an army of unbelievably powerful supernatural invaders from another dimension, hell-bent on destruction and domination. What do those fools do? They serve them willingly as pawns and lackeys, hoping against hope that someday their master notice them. You won't believe how delighted I am to be so vain and self-absorbed. These sins protect me against demonic temptations better than any virtue. What made you join my party after all? You mean instead of carousing far away from Canabris with a small army of mercenaries to protect me? I will get to that. You see, when you appeared at my door out of nowhere, awash with bravery and heroism, and started tossing demons around like ragdolls, I thought that your company might be more exciting than my usual crowd of sycophantic hangers-on. You seem competent and mysterious at the same time, so I decided that a little demon hunting wouldn't hurt, especially with such an intriguing entourage. That party had been growing staler with every passing second anyway. Needless to say, I'm not here for long. I shall return to the capital for even one of my country estates as soon as we reclaim the city. Crusades, bellowing commanders, rowing upon row of identical tents. This is not the life for me, but I will certainly remember you and our adventures together for a week or perhaps even longer than that. I think the dialogue is interesting enough that it's not like a pain to. I don't hate it with a passion, but man, those double voiced. I'll just put my books in here.
I do what I must.
Because I can. I don't have I'm in the party, but like I said, I'm a little bit low on space. Any cold iron rapier? No. Anyway, I am a little boyo. I guess I'm replacing Woljif. I'll just leave the stuff on Woljif for now. Oh, but I should. Oh, I can replace Finian for now, I guess. I'll make Finian a rapier. Show me your moves. Oh, she already had a cool iron rapier. Never mind then. Alright. You're out, you're in. If I had a heart, I could love you. Oh no, I'm no longer have the level debuff. I think that also means that I'm about to be fatigued. I had like 4 hours on it.
For the glory of the Oles clan!
Make every strike count.
Also, a spider right there. Whoops.
They don't know how fragile they are.
Oh, they might be fragile, but they're
Don't
not.
hold back!
But they're not fragile. Ow! 12 damage, really, man?
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
I'll cut you wide open.
Bzzz.
This will be the stuff of legend.
Strike!
You won't survive me.
I'm gone.
But I'm going to just carry on the morn. If you get a chance to make a new character, you should check out the Cole's voice. Oh my god. I mean, that's the armor on. Yeah. I mean, what can I do? If she wants to be
Save
naked.
the last one for me.
If she wants to be naked and she's an independent woman, what am I supposed to do about that? Why Kiryu of all
You should have
people?
run!
They'd better start running.
Endure this!
Why didn't I get my 2 attacks?
The spirits demand your blood. You won't stop us.
I guess having a nap right now.
This will hurt!
They don't know how fragile they are.
Let's see what it does for AC. Oh my god, yeah, that's sick. Slumber is so OP, yeah, it's actually completely broken.
I heed the voice of the spirits.
It's actually insanely broken. It's one of those things that if I was a GM and some player in my party, I don't know if that's actually a thing in the table of the game, but if I'm a GM and some player wants to use that, I'd throw them out of the group. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Nah. At least be a spell-like ability, so you'd have to go through spell resist, same with all the X's. I think that one in particular is just very powerful, though. Because it has no hit die requirements, it just works on everything. August Gwam. Ah, there you are at last. You certainly took your time. I thought perhaps you got lost on the way here. I was already regretting not drawing you a map. August's relief is palpable even through his grousing. It's a tragedy to see one's house in such a sorry state. I always had a few guards in my service, you know. I hope those blockheads died honorably and didn't simply flee at the first sign of danger. The manor, you see, contains several items that are of great value to me. I should retrieve them before they are discovered by my fellow citizens, who in the current chaos seem to have taken to thieving and marauding like ducks to water. So yeah, what I want you to do, take a stroll through my house, peek into the rooms, and if you find anyone, kill them on the spot. Not teach any other opportunities to stay away from Horgus Grove's manor. While I was standing here by the entrance, I could clearly hear the sound of someone rooting around inside. Any possessions of mine you find in there, you can keep. It's all as good as lost to me anyway. When you're sure that house is empty, give me a signal from my study window. Wave the torch around or something like that. You can decide when you get there. What are these valuable items that you're worth risking your life by going back to the manor? Never you mind, I'm paying you to clear out the ruffians. Horgus, not to ask the questions. Horgus glares at you for a few seconds before dropping his gaze. In the case, you will learn what this is all about just as soon as you clear away to my study for me. Restrain your curiosity for now. You're sad about your things, but because of them, you want us to kill people. Don't lecture me about right and wrong. If it gives you some comfort, let me assure you that marauders are not innocent little lambs, far from it. They would gladly kill you to get their hands on my possessions, mark my words. You're not coming with me? The very notion you think I hire guards to do my bidding just so I can put myself in danger along with them? No, I've taken my fair share of the risk already today. But all the same, you took the risk of coming here, and even though you were well aware of the dangers, what is it that draws you here so strongly, like a moth to a flame? Camellia, that's enough! Well, I suppose I had a sore spot. She quickly covers the smile that flits across her face. Alright, I understand. Well, get on with it. Or are you waiting for a special order? I shall await your signal, and good luck in there, I suppose. Wouldn't change anything if it lasted one round. I was GM in a game where they used Slumber. It just degenerated late after Hexer to coup de grace, coup or anything. And that was in the tabletop where enemies have way lower will saves. Yeah, ugh. Coup de grace is 4 round action, so it's not always tactically visible. Coup de grace is also deadlier in tabletop as well. There are dozens and dozens of side scenarios for parties of Slumber, which is unfair and limited. Same with Misfortune plus Cackle. I don't know what the Misfortune Cackle combo is, but coming for them, they slumbered, coup de grace, any North 30 enemies in the entire chapter 1. I would just ban that ability. I would never let any party member have slumber. I would say nope. I'm not dealing with anything that just debilitates enemies to the point where they can't act anymore. It's just boring. But I guess that's all of Pathfinder First Edition, though. To be fair. I mean, it's not just like they slumber. Now they're on the ground. Now they're also prone. So if you have a bunch of melee characters on them, worst case scenario, they have to stand up and then they just lie anyway, right? Even if you can't coup de grace them. Coup de grace, not coup. Let's try some potions real quick. Coup de grace. The hell is what is this layout here? Are these servant quarters?
We do it my way.
It's just like
I hope you appreciate
just like a
this.
billion beds everywhere you could put a bed, essentially. Chains, handcuffs, shackles are a collection of rival prisons. A set of various colors, various sizes. A box filled with a variety of whips and floggers. Oh my god. Is he a pervert? Wait a second. I tried to go for chef. No, not yet.
Still regret this.
Excellent. I haven't really had any fights where it felt necessary, honestly.
This spell works differently.
I'll do it next time there's like anything, like there's more than 3 enemies, okay? And just so far, it hasn't felt like necessary.
Surrender or else.
We're just fighting really regular enemies, so...
Make every strike count.
Prepare before combat so you don't waste action in combat, okay. To the ground.
Strike my masterpiece!
I'll do it next time. This seems like it's a relatively serious encounter, I guess. Onion soup. Onion soup. Oh, I was thinking about stopping by that place. I forgot about that. Oops. Might be, everyone. Might be. Yeah, I did in the chapter, so Lan was high level and basically sold it, yeah.
Follow if you dare.
I mean, he can probably sold it for me too.
I'm off.
Okay, so I do griffin shape, and what is this a swift action or? Jesus Christ. Jesus freaking Christ, man. So return from all ship was put over here. Release grapple. Death from above. Any limits? I can do it I can do it 6 times a day, I think. When this creature is an enemy with a melee attack, it also attempts a grapple maneuver check. If the check is successful, both the target and creature are grappled. Grappled characters cannot. Oh my god. Why can't I do this? I can only be used in combat, okay.
Let's prove their logic is lacking.
This is giving bars to 2 companion moods, that's a giga OP. I still can't do it, it's because it's a surprise round. Oh, that's embarrassing. Is this the only guy that's in here?
For apologies.
Also, is AC transformed? 19. Do I have to toggle this on, or? Oh yeah, I do. So what happened? I was supposed to do 3 attacks. Oh, I grappled him instead of doing the 3 attacks.
I'll hit you.
Makes sense. Oh, there's another enemy over there I can be in. Oh no.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
If I click this away, he loses the buff instantly. Okay, so what, do you have to micromanage this a little bit then? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
I do what I must.
Return to human shape. Isn't it just gonna do that stuff in a second? No, 8 charges a minute. Is it? Hey, he did it himself. Also, I was talking about this ability, Griffin aspect. Griffin aspect you have to micromanage, because it says it lasts in 1 minute increments, but when I turn it off, it instantly disappeared, despite not having been on for a minute yet. Oh my god, I don't think I'm reading all this. I mean, this is a little bit too much. The Crusades as seen by ordinary folk. I'm not clear on how they adapted the shape spell rules from tabletop, with limitation to druids running around as Melodons all day was limited amount of charges, and the fact that we weren't able to do anything humanoidy while transformed, including putting your barding on and using a ladder. I played a druid, and I mean, I think I had natural spellcasting. I don't remember, but I mean I never felt super limited by the wild shaping, I don't think. I think a big problem sometimes is just size. Like you know, you're in a house, so I'm like, I want to turn into T-Rex, right? There's no room. There's no room for T-Rex in here. Want to know why they call old Genty the Crusader? This is what happened. Olgar the farmer died, leaving 3 sons. The 2 older ones divided the land and lived their lives, and Genty, the youngest one, was square peg in the round hole, as they say. He only knew how to bask under a tree and eat pies. What was he to do? Where could he apply himself? So he got a rusty old sword from the blacksmith's backyard, mounted a skinny horse, and rode off over the hills and far away. Sooner or later, he came to a castle. Inside it, there was a knight's wife sitting around waiting for her husband to return from the Crusades. Sire Gentry sat down next to her, saying, "Fair lady, your husband is a great man, and you deserve all compassion. I am a crusader myself, and used to fight the horrible spawn of the Whirlwind," and so on he rambled. He sat behind the stone walls for a month, gained 10 pounds, became even more well-groomed, and in the end looked like a baron. But he grew bored of the knight's wife. She was always pale and sad, and cried for days, praying to Sarenrae. So Genty waved her goodbye and went on his way. He rode and saw a mill on the river, and a miller's wife, rosy cheeks plump as a partridge. Our Genty closed up to her, saying, "Lady Miller's wife, does your husband happen to be home?" "No, my good sir. Last year the Fae dragged him into the river," she said. Genty invited himself to stay at the mill. He lay on the soft bed, eating pies, drinking beer, and walking around the village. He had some nerve, told everyone at the village tavern what a seasoned crusader he was. He feared no demon, and promised to show them what's what. So one moonlit night, when he was huffing and puffing on the window, he felt her grabbing his back so strongly that he couldn't stand it. He looked down, and there she was, a crone, horrible like a skeleton, with a crooked nose, eyes like embers, and a stomach. Oh, wait, embers, a hollow stomach, ribs sticking out, and claws instead of nails, stinking of a ripening grape. Try as he might, Genty couldn't get away. The crone held him tight, hissing, "Where are you going, my sweet crusader? Come on, put your bun in my oven." And she stuck out her long tongue and licked her rotten teeth. Somehow Genty wiggled away, leaving plenty of his skin and meat on her claws. He ran from the mill in panic, ran all the way to the village naked and bleeding. So he's running and yelling, "Demons, demons!" Well, the locals gathered with their axes and pitchforks and came to the mill. It was empty. The crone was gone. They did find an ugly corpse in the basement, though. They knew it was the miller's wife by her hair and clothes. That's when Genty lost his mind. Now he sits under his brother's window, staring into the distance, saying, "The demons are coming, the demons are coming." That's the only thing he'll say. FP 1A druids were ridiculous for full casters with shapeshift. Oh, an animal companion, because why not? Yeah. Yeah, I had a super powerful animal companion, and I had super powerful shapeshifting, and I had a ton of like crazy buffs on myself too. Red Druid was a dark type that was just changed to different types of giants, because you could still use your humanoid gear and had thumbs. They said nerf the shape changing from 3.5. It used to be so insane. Well, you can. Well, when you say you can use gear, you mean like you can physically use it? Because there were feats that, was it feats or was it? It's like an item type, right? That lets you use your armor and stuff while you're shapeshifted. I think it's a type of armor that when you have that armor type and you shapeshift, you like keep the armor. I remember I had that at least. It is perhaps Avison's most popular dish. In the capital of Sheliax, it is baked in cheese crust and sprinkled with lemon juice. The local fishermen are used different cooking method in Kadira, which is on the opposite end of Aviston. There you will find a finely chopped and mixed cold ingredients. The exact origin of the dish remains unknown, but it is generally believed to have been invented in Andoran and spread around the globe by seafarers and pilgrims. It's served as a plain pate in its most basic version. To prepare it, soak the herring in spice marinade, then mince it into a spreadable paste. Add a mashed tart green apple, hard-boiled quail eggs, the freshest butter you can find, and half an onion. The list of ingredients may vary in the inland regions. In the region of Nirmathas, beef or lamb is used for the snack. I once tasted a highly original and equally highly disgusting version cooked with milk. I take a deep breath and stand still. I long to absorb every moment of joy. Inhale the evaporations of someone else's soul from their thickening blood. The border between reality and dream fades. It seems that everyone beyond the walls can hear the throbbing in my head. But it's only in my fantasy. A ringing silence fills the room. The fifth sacrifice has been made. My mistress, the most beautiful goddess, will be happy. I will take care of everything. Fragrant flowers, cut at the climax of their beauty, are now a part of the masterpiece, which is worthy of Shaelin herself. What if the narrow-minded priest rejected me in my gift? I serve the never-fading rose herself, not the worms that bite into her stem and suck at her life-giving juices. It won't be long now before I finish my job. I've already found the material. Her eyes are grey, the hair is dark blonde, she's fading into dirt. I will rewrite her destiny. That guy Necromancer of Shaelin? Argon was knocked flat. He laid gasping, arms spread, a lump of rage rising in his throat. He remembered his dream. Black soil, red ravens in the empty sky. The coarse croaks ringing in his ears like a taunt. Chorol would never take Rostland, never! Aldori sprang to his feet as if the blood-soaked soil was driving him forwards. With a cry of rage, the Warlord rushed into the battle. The sky turned scarlet with blood as he furiously chopped off his enemies' heads. The Scarlet Horizon drew closer, and its roar nearly drowned out the sound of the battle. Argon looked to the sky, and a fiery blast ascended upon him. These were no ravens that circled above him. The fearsome breath of the red dragons of Chorol melted the soldiers' armor and turned living flesh to ash and dust. There's Wildhammer, but it's plus enchantment, so you need to be on low 12 feet to have access to it. Unless your GM doesn't give a fuck about the core book's combinations. I think we were like towards the end of the adventure when did we either kill the dragon or met a dragon, and we either killed the dragon or found the dead dragon, and we used the dragon scales to make like some like wild shape, wild armor, dragon hide, wild armor or something. It was really good, because I think wild armor has to be from like a leather or whatever. I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's been a long while since we played that. Until recently, we knew this world as it was described in books and stories, a sewer torn apart by hyenas and separated us with nations and borders, oppressed us with extortion and lies, and assert their authority and power. However, someone else's hand rules these slaves who act like masters. It's a threat far more intimidating than a handful of arrogant fools. Our land are secretly ruled by the most ancient creatures of Golarion, the inhabitants of the ever-dark depths, who now know both past and future. People are led along paths they cannot see, and do not have the power to leave, to an end known only to our hidden masters. Some insist that the signs are purely coincidental, but they point to a vast conspiracy. Only a fool can fail to see how the myriad coincidences weave into a great cobweb, or they have submitted their very will and sworn their allegiance to our unseen masters in the depths. Will-O-Wisp. An amusing glowing ball which looks harmless and doesn't arouse any natural suspicion, pretends to be a guiding light in the marshes, but leads travelers to certain death. The agonizing fear of their victims is this monster's nourishing dinner. If you manage to resist their tricks, make sure you have some lightning protection. The monsters shock any visitors it falls into. Oh, dude, that brought back so many memories from Kingmaker. Was the entire thing Kingmaker that some of the encounters were literally like 6 will-o-wisps that instantly just cast lightning bolt over your entire party? Werewolves prefer to hunt in groups and attack lone travelers. It's entirely possible that Varasian camps of 2 could turn into pack of bloodthirsty lycanthropes under cover of darkness. Ordinary weapons stand little chance against them, but the silver blade greatly increases your sense of survival. Powerful creatures of the primal realm occasionally visit the world for amusement. It's best to stay out of the primal's way, don't fight it. You're dangerous, but if life's at stake, resort to cold steel. This we've read, I think, right? Yeah, we did. It is done, I said. Milliken studied me with narrowed eyes. You look awfully clean, he said. Where's the knife? In answer, the first shouts went up from the inn. Fire! Screamed Ilna, and then the other voices joined her. In an instant, Milliken's entrepreneurial instincts took over, and he sprang for the door, tossing the crossbow aside. Outside the roof of the inn was already smoking oily black against the sunset, flame licking through the thatch in places. With a scream of pain, Milliken ran for the creek. I looked to Fargus, needing no further cue. We each grabbed up an armful of supplies and sprinted off in opposite directions. After 10 minutes of leaped brambles and ducked branches, we stopped to catch our breath. Backing back the way we came, the smoke was still visible, though the sounds had faded to just the faint and frantic pealing of a church bell. That was close, Fargus said, leaning against a tree and breathing hard. Agreed, I puffed, staring down at the cloak full of bread that now made up our sole possessions. Then the sound of the bell reminded me of something. About what you said back there, I asked. You said Shaelin. I thought you were a priest of Desna. Fargus grunted. A man's faith is a personal thing, he said, trying up the cloak. Now shut up and keep on running. We did. Man. What a books, huh? Or several of us that are immune to non-magical damage and can turn invincible, yeah. Adventure of Fearless Crusader Briggy the Sausage Maker. For dinner, the wounded were served cabbage soup. This didn't surprise them in the slightest. They'd had the same dish for dinner for a week. The hospital's residents used to be lucky enough to get potatoes and even turnips sometimes. But about a month ago, the Knights of the Order of the thrice holy shining sun and dissipating darkness, scimitar of our beloved goddess Sarenrae, accidentally shot a catapult the wrong direction and annihilated the cart of the farmer who supplied the hospital with these vegetable delicacies. Ever since, the wounded only had cabbage soup for dinner, occasionally with a bit of protein when the odd cockroach crawled into the pot. After enjoying a delightful meal, the wounded stuffed their smoking pipes with something which rather more resembled hay than tobacco. Their bad habits demanded the inhalation of some smoke or other after mealtime. But with these practices matters happily resolved, they fell to talking. Which demon do you think is most dangerous? Asked Wushlik the spearman, scratching the stub of his leg with the stub of his arm. I think it's Abricandulus. Those monsters are cunning and sneaky, almost like Varasians, and their teeth are even sharper. Look! He illustrated his point for his comrades by holding up his remaining fingers. 2.5 of them. It depends the way you look at it, answered Gregley, the artillerist, but she could hardly look at all. Her eyes were covered with bandages. Your Abernicus are easy pickings, but Baylors are a different thing. He hits you with this whip, and your eyes pop out. She weighed the pipe energetically, casting its contents into Buslik's face. While the latter was coughing and brushing himself off, Briggy joined the conversation. Baylors and Bricandillus are alright, I suppose, but I say isn't a demon in the world scarier than the regular louse. Of course the other demons can teleport places, but the louse doesn't even need to do that. Wherever you look, it's already there. Then he stuck his hand under his shirt, pulled out the suspect of his speech from somewhere in his armpit, and demonstrated it to his friends. You can run away from a big demon with a whip, but you can run away from lice. They string everyone, from the foot soldiers to general. Even the queen herself isn't immune. Now you think you might say it doesn't do much harm. After all, how much blood can one louse drink? I'm telling you, think how much a soldier's blood they've drunk altogether. It's got to be a whole sea, wouldn't you think? More than all the demons in the abyss. And if anyone tells me a louse is the demon, then haha to them. Could a monster like that come from anywhere besides the abyss? That's a good question. A long time ago, in the time before remembering, there was a furious god known as Ravagog, a terrible giant worm with 1,000 teeth and claws. He devoured every world in his path, one after another. The great gods were displeased with his beast and delivered unto Ravagog their scourge. Many laid down their feuds to combine forces, mighty Thorag, brilliant Sarenrae, vicious Asmodeus, crafty Callistra, cold-blooded Pharasma, and many, many others. Together they faced Ravagog as he arrived to swallow Golarion. The goddess of the sun, Sarenrae, forbade Ravagog's death, and so the gods imprisoned this fiend deep in the ground. Shackled and sleeping, Asmodeus himself would keep the key to his bonds. Yeah, Asmodeus has the key. Yeah, of course he does. The terrible monster remains there still, asleep in his prison. Whenever Ravagul rolls over in his sleep and scratches his back against his prison walls, the earth trembles and volcanoes spit fire. If there's a Baylor around, your friend is not famous high-level hero. Yeah! Yeah? I mean, apparently that lady got hit by Baylor and it popped her eyes out, so... Imagine this, a girl whose name I shall disclose comes to town and immediately purchases the most expensive suburban villa. This newcomer spends unfathomable amounts of charity, even returning several tragically perished citizens to life at her own expense. She is very young, her rough speech and manners indicate that she is not of noble birth. This is the whole town wondering, how did this young lady come into possession of such a huge fortune? And why does she spend it so eagerly? Those secrets were revealed to me when I was invited to the mysterious girl's house to provide healing services. The young lady reluctantly displayed something she'd been hiding from everyone. Terrible acid burn. She forestalled any questioning with a single word, Ilthuliak. The monstrous black dragon's name was well known in the River Kingdoms. She'd lived in the Reach for hundreds of years, inspiring terror and emptying settlements. Many experienced dragon hunters attempted to put stop to her, and all perished. No one knew where Ilthuliak's lair was, or where she would strike next. The wounds Ilthuliak acid breath left on the patient's body were terrible, but her soul was hurt much worse. The girl and their friends had found the lair of the dragon. They could have gathered hunters to destroy the monster, but they instead kept silent in search of profits. When the lair's mistress was absent, they would carry treasure out little by little. Ilthuliak suspected something was happening, so she set an ambush for the thieves, and they were dealt with cruelly. My patient pretended to be dead, surviving while the dragon devoured the bodies of her friends. She had much gold left at her disposal, but it came with the burden of memories that recalled devastated cities and countless people burned by acid. Unable to tolerate the guilt, the girl tried to atone for her ill-gotten gains with good deeds. I was able to heal her physical wounds. When we parted, she told me she planned to spend the rest of her wealth organizing an expedition to Ilthuliak's lair to end the beast. I recently heard rumor that the villa had been abandoned for quite some time now. It's possible the owner left for other lands, but my heart tells me her bones lie in the lair of Ilthuliak, the winged terror and plague to the River Kingdoms. There's probably a Balrog just because you're friends with famous high-level hero. Never actually fought a Balrog in tabletop. Campaigns usually don't go that high level. I used a Baylor in my last campaign, right? That was a Baylor, wasn't it? But it wasn't for the players to fight, it was for the players to run away from. Two more. For a third night in a row, I've dreamt of the Grey Gardens knocking at my door. I cannot believe it is my turn to be cut down by blade, watching the blood of 1,000 revolutions as a wave of popular outrage washes over me, and my head tumbles down the steps of the scaffold. We take up the sword, and by it we shall perish, once struck down the imperial scum, but now it is we who must face the blade. The insurgent's beast calls revolution will never be sated, it needs new victims. This time it's my comrades and I. The cruelty of the hoarders in power echoes in the cruelty of the paupers. Now intoxicated by their own freedom, Lux walked in there, farted, and left. You want a change? Well, here it is. This is a country now of mad fanatics, fighting their treacherous past every day. Former friends are today's foes. My workshop has been converted into secret headquarters. If I could do it all over again, I would repair my... Oh, come here, Alex. Fix that. Oh, what a... Ugh. It's a nasty fart. I replayed was 17, but I was right before the final boss of the campaign, Reigns of Winter. I think when we played, well, I think that was a level 20 campaign, if I remember correctly. I played Pathfinder First Edition. My last campaign was 1 to 20, but that was Pathfinder Second Edition. And we did Blood Lords, that was also 1 to 20. Nuan Quant peeped through a slit in the window shutter. The visitor was staggering at the porch. Nuan had promised himself many centuries ago that he'd never have to deal with halflings again, after a case of the clockwork head. Even the bleaching is better than some adventurers. However, there was something disturbing in the visitor's parents. Something was wrong. What do you say, Kexi? Listen sat at the window with yarn and knitting needles in her hands. Oh, we've already read that one. Alright. How's high level in second edition? Like, it's way more balanced. It's way more balanced. It's blocked opening. It's way easier to run from a game master perspective because the system overall is less has less power inflation, so it's way easier to just run a game with high level characters. I think both in 3.5 and second edition, like all older editions too, and 5e, a high level campaigns are really hard to run or bad or difficult, but in second edition it's really easy. I've never had any struggles with it. The players get really powerful to a satisfying degree, but they don't get so powerful that it's like they're not powerful to a level where it trivializes encounters and, you know, kind of just makes playing the game pointless. So it depends a little bit, I guess, on how power game your players are. Because you can definitely power game second edition too if you want to.
Can't hide this from my eyes.
But as long as they're not doing like Giga Omega power leveling, like the craziest shit imaginable, then it's really balanced.
I am helpful, am I not?
The biggest problem I have with second edition has a lot of problems. The majority of them very minor. The biggest problem I have overall is that spellcasters feel a little bit lackluster, and some of the spells are powerful to a boring degree. Second edition, I just need to catch up on the lore and some of the other new classes. I don't think there's probably not too much lore to catch up on. There's no torture. Oh, there's a chest.
We do it my way.
Do it my way. Or the highway. I'm not talking about Clarice to break down the door, lock it broken.
Their life ends here!
It's a great system though. It's by far my favorite system right now. Not even close. And it ain't even close. Hi! These guys don't have cold iron.
You won't survive me.
I don't think they have any reason to bark. I think they're just barking right now.
You are today's sacrifice!
Don't hold back!
You won't stop us.
They'd better start running.
Blinding ray. Ulahai samro shendrolya. Like I said, a bit lackluster, but spell slots are only a daily resource, which leads to the situation only reads to stop, but then eventually days because spellcasts run out of resources. Yeah, I agree. And we started talking about, I was talking about former Game Master yesterday, and we started talking about doing an event where everyone just ran the worst second edition society scenarios while drinking sorted amounts of alcohol. We did 2 of those events for first edition back in the day, and they were very silly. Wait, what are the events like? I've never done any of the Pathfinder society stuff. I barely even know how it works. Yeah, the big problem, and a lot of people,
Follow if you dare.
a lot of people in the Pathfinder second edition community refuse to acknowledge this. But the biggest problem second edition faces is that the only daily resource essentially are spells for casters, with a few minor exceptions here and there, which means that essentially, if in second edition your entire party are just fighters, you can keep adventuring 24/7. There's like if we remove fatigue from the game, then you could just keep adventuring. There's no need to rest ever. You never have any reason to sit down ever in the game ever. There's literally no purpose for it. But if you are a spellcaster, then essentially after a few moderate encounters, after about 3 to 4-ish, assuming those fights are moderate encounters where you're supposed to use at least one of your spells, then it's time to go sit down and go take a break, basically. Because that's how the big game is balanced. And it creates a bit of a frustrating dynamic where essentially the entire adventure day is just based around the spellcasters. And then people will say a lot of the same arguments. They'll be like, well, you need the spellcasters to... You actually need spellcasters, blah blah blah, which isn't true. You can supplement what the spellcaster do with other classes, like a kineticist, for instance, which has infinite spells essentially, and you can also do it like with just using scrolls and wands, right? With trick magic item, I think it's called, or is that in this edition? What's it called in second edition again? Is trick magic item from this? Oh yeah, I think it's called trick magic item. So one, it's not true that you don't need casters in your party. That's completely not true. There's no established fact that says so. And the second thing people say is that, well, then you have to design your days so that the players can't just keep adventuring, right? Like, you know, just design it so that they need to go rest or whatever. Which is also like, okay, so I need to perfectly design my days around the spellcasters then, right? Like, oh, if they're all paladins or champions, doesn't matter, right? They can just keep adventuring. But if there's one spellcaster, now I suddenly need to design my game completely differently. Transfer GMs on big space and then open up slots for players to lock in. Good position breaks, also there's the smell and vibe check at the door. What's the vibe check? You just have to kiss a homie at the door. Like, guys aren't powerful paths for precision. And spellcasters aren't path for precision powerful spells limited to adventure day in Path 1E, but there are casters dedicated. But there are casters dedicated to encounters. Yeah. The spells in first edition are significantly more powerful to an insane degree. Like, some of the weakest spells in first edition are better than the most powerful spells in second edition. First of all, but secondly. First edition has a... First edition, you get natural resting points because healing is still a problem. A big problem with second edition is that they introduce medicine. I don't think this is a problem necessarily, actually. I think it's a good thing. But they introduce a medicine skill, which you can use to heal essentially infinitely. Which means that as long as your players have medicine, they can just take a 10-minute break, heal everyone up again, and then go keep adventuring over and over again. So that's kind of where the problem is at, right? If you would have the same problem in first edition if you had medicine there too. If you have an infinite way to heal people out of combat that doesn't cost resources and is basically free, then you would have the same problem in first edition as well. But in first edition you would actually want to rest because you want to cast your spells. In second edition it's like, inexperienced GM who knows who the toxic guys, they are always men, are. Haste first edition most powerful buff, Haste second edition, kind of whatever, yeah. Haste is a good example too, right? Haste in first edition is like, it lasts for a number of rounds or minutes equal to your caster level. It gives you a +1 to attack and AC and reflex saves, and it gives you a bonus attack, I think. In second edition, Haste gives one person, unless it's a heightened to a 6 spell slot, which means you do 6 spell slot. It gives one person one additional action they can use to either strike or stride every turn. Also, yeah, it hits multiple people. So this kind of weird with medicine. I have 2 characters with this feat that allows you to not roll medicine, just succeed at the check automatically. It's so good. Assurance, yeah. It's not just assurance though. Like, failing medicine is just a big deal. The problem is more that you can, like, once you have ward medic, I think it's called, and continuous recovery, there's no cooldown for healing people anymore. and you can heal as many people. You can heal a bunch of people at the same time, right? So if this was my second edition group, we just did an encounter, right? Everyone's a little bit hurt. We sit down for 10 minutes. I heal everyone to full instantly because I'm that good. Then we continue. And then some GMs would be like, well, just make sure they can't keep resting. It's like, okay, but then they just leave the dungeon. I don't know. Sharpest War Medic is one of my 2 characters. Yeah, the thing I don't like about medicine in second edition, I like the concept of it. I think it's a good idea because I think one of the most frustrating things about Pathfinder first edition when you're playing it can be being low health, but feeling like you need to continue, right? Like, you know, let's say this is a real game. Let's say we're all out of heal potions. Let's say Kiri has like 10 health left, but let's say we're right outside the boss door, right? The boss is literally right there, and the boss is about to sacrifice someone. Like, you can't just be like, all right, guys, let's just leave. Let's just head out. You know what I mean? In second edition, you could be like, all right, let's do a quick med check, everyone. Everyone, gather up. I'll patch you guys up again. In first edition, you're like, all right, I guess I'm going in with 10 health. I hope the boss doesn't hit me for more than my HP, so I instantly die. But I think the problem with medicine in second edition is that it feels very mandatory, meaning that I can't imagine having a competent party without someone that can do medicine, even if it's just for battle medicine. And 2, it creates a lot of like feat. It creates a lot of mandatory feats. To the point where I will probably just house rule that someone just gets those feats. Because I think it's boring. I think it's boring to choose War Medic and continue to cover on every goddamn character just because you have to do it. I would rather just make those part of the medicine thing and then just be like, hey, if you're trained in medicine, just get them or whatever. Yeah. Not that simple, but something like that. But heal you don't, and that's not how not anyhow related to resources again. Yeah. It should be maybe a general thing you can do instead of a skill you need to invest into. I think a good medium would be to have medicine kits have limited uses. I think that could be a really good idea. Like you say that, oh, this is a medicine kit, but you can only use it, you know, 3 times before you have to refill it or whatever. Something like that could be a good medium. Yeah, it's a good idea, but it's a bit it lacks a bit of refinement, I think. I think if there were no daily resources, or daily resources were more spread out, meaning that, you know, like a wizard doesn't get daily spells, they just get like spells per encounter or something, right? I think in that case it would be fine. I don't think it works in the mismatched world where we have characters with no daily resources and characters with only daily resources, and you know, they clash, right? Because as a fighter, I'm just like, oh, let's just go fight, and the wizard's like, bro, I used all my spells in the last encounter. Like, you can medicine each target only once per day. Yeah, maybe. I kind of like I like resource management, so I think making it so like you can only use like a certain amount of medicine per day might make sense too. Did it also nerf all focus spells, heal next? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I think the middle ground that makes the most sense for second edition is just that you design certain dungeons and encounters to be time gated. Then you design other places to not be time gated, and then you start to make it clear, right? Like you're like, hey, you guys are on a time crunch here. If you have an hour to get to where you're going, so sure you can sit down for 10 minutes, but hey, that's 10 minutes going for your time. Or 2, you do like you're just like every time you sit down, ambush. Like the enemies aren't just waiting for you; they're gonna come get you. I think both of those make sense. And
I'm off.
But not every situation has to be like that, right? Leon Hans circle jerk is silly as well. Yeah, I agree, but or you can treat wounds only once per fight per character. Obviously, the game has tracked combat damage and treats the mitigation very differently. Yeah, but the weird thing we run into in Warhammer, where I agree with the ruling the game master made, is that like encounter. You know, like one of the, we did a pretty brutal encounter. I healed everyone because I'm the medic. My character has medicine, so I healed everyone. And then we did an encounter. It was just like one guy. It was just like one dude. We stabbed him, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna heal everyone. And the GM's like, I don't think like I think we can say like once per significant encounter. I was like, yeah, that's fair. It's like, you know, encounter is a very loose term, right? Like, oh, it's a rat. Shit. You stab the rat. It's like, all right, guys, let's heal up. But I agree with the idea that it's like it has to be like an actual real encounter, not just like a stupid throwaway, like, you know, 6 against 1 like that was.
I do what I must.
But also I like that of like picking fights to heal. You know, you're just like you're like maybe you can like summon a monster or something, right? You can summon a minor demon. You summon like a minor demon, stab. Oh, it's a troll. Tillman tears troll into instant. Was that a significant encounter? Yeah, I mean, I get it though, because like Warhammer has a damage system that's interesting and makes sense, but the medicine can kind of trivialize a little bit. Like, I'm not even good at medicine, and I'm still kind of like healing a lot. That much of a match you can have to max to 6 because some players were really gaming. We are using group advantage. We thought single advantage would be what you're saying. We thought it would be a little bit swingy and very like min-maxy. Reduces in group advantages has been really fun. Uh-oh.
Hmm? Yeah? Whatever comes next, we'll be ready.
Did we step on their toes as well?
There really just one guy in here.
Strike!
Oh, there's 2, I guess.
Make every strike count.
Surrender, or else!
What I do as Nenio against like just regular ass demons? Because they're basically immune to everything, right? Everything I can do as a counter up. And I don't want to like throw a magic missile at some like useless dude, so do I just do nothing? Oh my god!
You should have run!
Can you coup de grace, Griffin? Coup de grace. Single advantage feels amazing until you have an encounter with 3 rat mutants per character, and it means nothing because of the power rules. Yeah. Like, it's just like, it just feels like you can get like insanely powerful as a single character, which isn't bad necessarily. It's just like feels a little bit swingy, or an enemy gets really powerful.
The world in crimson.
I actually like the group advantage rules a lot. Like it's I feel like it's a really good mechanic because it incentivizes everyone working together, and it feels like you're like all contributing to a pool of resources everyone can use. I don't think we use it very effectively, and we could probably like do more with it, but I actually think it's a pretty cool mechanic. In other words, we might as well do nothing. Yeah, makes sense.
I'm gone.
We had a Minotaur 12 advantage at one point and was like play a horror game. Yeah, right? Like that sounds insane. That dude is literally gonna one-shot you.
This will be quick.
We were fighting like a Chaos Warrior. I don't remember. It's a Chaos Warrior, I think, right? My character got a Holy Sigmar sword. And despite the fact that my character is a handgunner, is a range character, I decided to just roleplay it and be a swordman now. So we fought a Chaos Warrior. So I charged this guy with my sword, with my Sigmar sword. I miss. He has like a retaliate ability, so just did 20 damage and instantly killed me. I guess it's an wizard tickled the Minotaur with darts to remove all 12. Yeah, true. Party guys whose armor have fused to their flesh. Like, I think it was a chaos warrior. It was a big chaos suit at least. But he had that stupid ass retaliate ability where it's like he retaliates when you miss and he does more damage depending on how hard you miss. And I'm terrible at swords, so I missed really, really bad. But he instantly does hit 20 unavoidable damage to me, insta-killed me, broke me to 0. I don't think I'm gonna charge up to these guys. I don't want them to have full attacks on me, so I guess I'll delay until after this guy. That's a cleric. God damn it. This guy's gonna one-shot me. I can already feel it. Never mind. Can you imagine a regular cultist and then suddenly a freaking griffin? And twice, both have included the falling damage. Dude, the falling damage! Holy crap! We were doing that adventure path that everyone loves. I forgot what it's called. But we were in like a town villa or something, and then we were framed for something, so we ran out the back. There was a wall there, like a I don't know, like a 10-foot wall. So we climb up one side and we're about to get on the other. And like the GM's like, if you like, okay, roll like a acrobatics or whatever to see how we fall. Jump down. People were literally dying. I felt like, yeah, people were literally dying from this 10-feet fall. We had people like breaking limbs, losing fate points. It was the worst thing imaginable. The falling damage was so brutal for no reason. Absolutely no reason. Good night.
Too late for apologies.
Oh, I got a big save.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
What? Oh no. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Mere flesh wound.
Where's it gonna come from?
This will hurt!
Reminder everyone that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
I'll hit you.
GG.
You won't survive me.
I really like Warhammer 4th edition, but that system is also so jank that it's painful. The one thing that I really appreciate about 2nd edition Pathfinder, regardless of approach with it, is that it's very thought out. They thought about a lot of scenarios, a lot of different circumstances, and they put all the pieces together in a very compelling and easy to understand way. With Warhammer 4th edition, there are so many rules that barely even work, or that you have to like house rule or work out yourself or interpret in different ways.
I am your end!
We had to walk up a mountain to reach our target, and the game asked Anker if we wanted to take the less dangerous route or go through Night Golden territory. Which one involves less climbing? Yeah.
We do it my way.
It's a fun system for sure. I think it has a lot of problems, but it's definitely a good system.
The heartbeat quickens.
The biggest kind of problem we're running into right now is that
join my ancestors.
that's revealed. The problem that we're running into now is that the system is broken in a weird way, where Son made a 2-weapon fighter meaning a dude wielding a Zweihander. And then he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna be unarmed. And for some reason, he does more damage unarmed than any other character in the campaign by far. Because the rules are so broken and bonkers and make no sense, for some reason unarmed characters are just insanely broken.
Don't hold back!
Damn, it's like someone would die
Go
here.
for their hearts!
Endure this!
Oh yeah, someone's gonna die here for sure. That guy's about to annihilate me. Oh my god, it did so many attacks. And two-handed weapons are just bad. Did you take dirty fighting how many times?
You won't stop us.
I don't know what the actual build is. I just know that it's broken bazonkers.
Strike!
No one told me to stop too many.
I'll cut you wide open.
Oh my god, die!
Make every strike count!
Oh no. Kiryu! Oh, that's not Kiryu. You shot Ember? That was coping after trying to do two-handed character. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think it's funny how broken the system is. I think having unarmed builds that are very good is cool. But I do think unarmed builds are really cool.
Can't hide from me.
I just think that it should, like, I feel like unarmed should not be
Follow
like
if
the
you
top
dare.
damage dealer probably. It should be like the top, like, debilitator or... These are good scrolls, huh? They can be cool, but they're not thematically at all in Warhammer Fantasy. Yeah, that's also true, I guess. That's a good point. Am I getting encumbered? First encumbrance threshold. I mean, it's the same as whole campaign. I'm tanked though, so my damage is not that important. We would do this for that. I was the handgunner, but then I forgot that magical Sigmar sword, so now I'm
I'm off!
We'll make things right.
Yes.
what is this Curate Wind spell right here? Why can't I use it for anything?
Yes. Yes.
Let me draw the first blood.
I was gonna turn to Griffin, but where do you think these archers are at?
Interesting.
Is a sword called Barakul? Yes, it is. Handed to me by Sigmar himself. I should be careful of spoiling. No, I know the name of the sword. Where we are in book 4. I think we just entered book 3, but we've made some choices that has made our GM be forced to do a little bit of house ruling,
Surrender or else.
or some yes, had to change the campaign a little bit because we keep wearing off the path and doing all this shit. But I think we're in book 3, I think. We just got Barakul, and then we're right after we got the sword, and the place explodes, basically. That's like where we're at right now. I'll just move up, whatever. Very much crap. Helen, keep messing up his crap. We keep being like, our GM would be like, he'll introduce like 3 paths, and we're supposed to take path 1, and he tries to make that really obvious. But we're like, wait, what about path 2 and 3 though?
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Like, there's a part where in the campaign where I think you do this as part of the story, where you travel past Castle 1 Wittgenstein, whatever it's called, and it was like, oh, this place looks haunted and there's bodies floating down the river. Like, oh shit, we should go explore that. It was like, no, you shouldn't. That's very dangerous. We're like, okay. It's like, you know, you're supposed to like know about. It's supposed to be like a foreshadowing. We were like, oh shit, let's go.
The spirits demand your blood.
Where's this asshole at? Where the hell did that guy go? Ow. I'm gonna go cool the girl, this guy.
You won't survive me.
Remember, so that's sort of think that we might go some wilderness adventure, so no one is socially investigated character. Which can sign is kind of silly. Yeah, I think that sort of the campaign is a little. Oh, okay. Found that guy. I have a feeling that land here is about to have a bad time, huh? Oh, oh, oh.
Too late for apologies.
I gotta go right now to tabletop game. I'm just gonna do this encounter.
Spirit Ulbrigolis sent you.
Endure this!
Let's do a.
You should have run!
Oh my god. I'm barely even touching this dude.
You are today's sacrifice!
I had to do a complete rethink of my character path to compensate for the group missing a face type and basically anyone able to exist in polite society. So now my witch hunter, 15 advancements in lore, law, and charm. That's why I picked up medicine or heal, because we had no one that could do heal, and it meant that every time after one encounter we were just completely out. But I got access to it because I went into the duelist path or whatever. Like, all right, I'll do some. I'll have spell resistance. Yeah, I know how it works. Thank you, game.
He'd better start running.
Make every strike count.
Oh, 39 damage. Holy
This
crap.
will hurt!
Go for their hearts!
They don't know how fragile they are.
Alright, I think we'll save here and then we'll come back to this next time.
I do what I must.
We do what we must. I should give the save like a proper name so I remember it. Like day 8. That way, if I ever need to like go back for something, I'd be like, oh yeah, day 8, yeah, true. Rather than be like, oh, day 633. Alright. Thank you all for being here, gamers. Hope you're on a fantastic video gaming time. I enjoy myself. This game is a lot of fun. We're taking a lot of time with it, but that's just how it's going to be. Like, my secret hope is that, once I read all the stuff the companion has to say, then they're going to have less to say over time. But I don't actually know if that's the case or not, so... we just have to deal with it as it happens. Not much else we can do in that regard. I'm having a lot of fun with the game, though, so... I look forward to playing it more tomorrow at a regular time. 12:00 10 p.m. DFT +2. Schedules on there in the local time zones. I'll be back with more Wrath of the Righteous. Starting next Saturday, we'll probably start doing some Stronghold Crusader. But for right now, I'm enjoying this, so we'll keep doing this every day of the week, except for Saturdays. If you're new, follow us in the Discord, like good stuff. Thank you to Deb for the rate there. Don't forget to check Deb out. And Vel... Our combat none has maximum advance in melee basic. We have very different ideas about the system. Jesus Christ, combat none. We're gonna head over to our video gaming friend Motais today. Here's a raid. Oop. Rides. Have a good night, everyone. It was fun chatting. Yeah, I love it. One of my favorite parts of playing the Pathfinder games is usually that there's a little tabletop talk, and I love tabletop talk. It's one of the things I don't get to talk about too much, just generally speaking. It doesn't necessarily come up in regular conversations. Ooh, guys, Subverse is on sale on GOG. What are we thinking? Should I play it? Should I get Subverse on GOG? Yeah, that's it for me. Love you all. Appreciate you all. I'll be back tomorrow, as I said, with more Wrath of the Righteous. You guys have a great race. Keep fighting foes. And bye-bye. A dance. Macabre.